Welcome to the Amplified Female Entrepreneur, where I will be dishing out intuitive business strategies for high level female entrepreneurs. If you've ever felt like you're meant for more alignment, more success, and more impact, then you are in the right place. I'm Lisa, your host, a human design 2-5 projector, a business coach, and a transformational guide. I empower driven women to break free from unfulfilling careers and step into purpose driven leadership that feels deeply aligned and authentic. My goal is to help you amplify your strengths, master your energy, and create a life and business that lights you up just like I did. So let's dive into the episode. You've done it all. You've climbed the ladder, hit your goals, earned the promotions, and maybe even built a thriving business. On paper, your life looks perfect. But let me ask you this: why doesn't it feel that way? Today, we're diving into a topic that hits close to home for so many high achieving women and me: why success feels empty and how to uncover the deeper truth about alignment. For years, I was the definition of a successful woman. I had a high six-figure salary, an impressive title. Sometimes when I look at those real estate shows like Million Dollar Listing LA, it reminds me of the life I used to have. From the outside looking in, it seemed like I had it all. But the truth, I was miserable. Every promotion, every pay raise came with a short lived rush. It was like a dopamine rush, but it never filled the void that was still there. I was beating myself up, always wondering what was wrong with me. Why was I so ungrateful? I should be happy. People would dream to have my life, which I'm sure didn't help my mental health at the time either. But why did this happen? It's because of societal conditioning. I thought that is exactly what I wanted, right? We've been taught to measure success by external metrics, by money, titles, by material possessions, without even asking whether these things truly align with who we are. And so we are going to achieve what we're told to do, but then it becomes not aligned with our authentic self. So misalignment happens when your outer world, such as the work you do and the goals you chase, doesn't match with your inner world, which is your passions, your values, and maybe even your natural strengths, which I also call your gifts. I know this personally because I lived it. For years, I silenced that inner voice that was telling me this isn't it. And I kept thinking, once I make more money, once I hit the next milestone, then I'll feel happy, then I'll feel fulfilled. But it never came. It wasn't until I lost my daughter that I realized how out of alignment my life truly was. I was chasing external success, but neglecting what really mattered, which was my time even with her that I will never get back, my purpose, my joy. I knew after her death, I was never going to go back to my job. And of course, it scared me because when you're used to making a nice sum of money, to just walk away from that can be pretty scary. But I looked at what it costed me and I could not put a price on that. And when you know your purpose and the driving force that's behind you is something so powerful, now I know why business mentors or leaders I've listened to really focused on the why. And now my why is so much bigger than my fears. And that's why I can keep going. And that's what will keep you going. So, alignment is when your outer actions, so your career, your goals, even your relationships, are in sync with your inner truth. And it's when you're living and working in a way that feels authentic and energizing. It just feels right. So that's where the tools like human design will come in. So, human design will show you how you're naturally wired to make decisions, where your strengths are, and how you're meant to operate in the world. So, it gives you like a roadmap back to your authentic self. So, for instance, as a projector in human design, my gift is guiding others and seeing their potential. But in my corporate life, I was working like a generator. I was pushing, I was hustling, I was burning myself out. So once I understood my human design, I started making decisions that felt aligned and everything shifted. Now I'm working, as they say, smarter, not harder. But alignment goes beyond just knowing your human design. You have to address the whole system, right? Your mind, your body, and your soul. And that's where my Rise and Thrive method comes in, because it's a holistic approach that I've developed using neuroscience, energy medicine, and human design to help you create alignment at every level. Let's say you're in a high stress job that doesn't light you up and you feel drained every day, but you tell yourself, I should be grateful. It's a good job. That should is the voice of misalignment. When you start listening to what you really want and aligning with your actions with that, you will feel more energized and more fulfilled. So you can start with asking yourself these 3 questions. What parts of my life feel energizing and what feels draining? Am I making decisions because they feel right for me or because I think I should? And if I could create a life based entirely on what lights me up, what would it look like? So, alignment doesn't mean overhauling your entire life overnight. Start by noticing where you feel out of sync. Maybe it's a project at work, a daily routine, or even a relationship. And then take a small step to move closer to what feels right. So, if you're curious about human design, start by looking up your chart. You can go to my website to download it for free at riseandthrivetribe.org, which I'll also put in the notes. So when you have your chart, notice your type and strategy and start experimenting from there. So for example, if you're a generator, your strategy is wait to respond. How that looks like in business is maybe like respond to opportunities and ideas that come your way rather than initiating from scratch. Your energy will be more powerful when you're doing work that excites you, but frustration will creep in if you say yes to things out of obligation rather than your genuine enthusiasm. Pay attention to what opportunities light you up and trust your gut before committing to anything. Focus on the work that feels deeply satisfying instead of just checking the boxes. So, another example is like you're a generator who runs a graphic design studio and a potential client emails you asking for help creating branding for a new wellness company. So pause and check in with yourself. Does this project excite you? If a yes, move forward and give it your all. If no, then decline and wait for a project that feels more aligned, that you're thrilled about. So you might think, I've been wanting to work with an eco-conscious brand. Does this opportunity align with that vision? For example, by responding only to what excites you, you'll produce better work and you will avoid burnout. Now, manifestors, your strategy is to inform others before taking action. So you're here to initiate and pave new paths. Your energy is naturally innovative and visionary, which means you often have bold ideas that others may not see yet. However, because of your initiating nature, you may sometimes face resistance if you don't communicate your intentions clearly. Now, informing isn't about asking permission. It's about aligning your actions with those around you so you reduce friction and build trust. So when inspiration strikes, take the lead, but let people know your plans before moving forward. So it'll help others get on board with your vision. An example of this could be you're a manifestor who owns a marketing agency and you wake up one morning with a bold idea to pivot your services and focus exclusively on helping clients launch their personal brands. So your strategy is to inform those affected, like your team or your current clients, to inform them about this shift before implementing it. So instead of making the decision in isolation, let's say you call a meeting with your team and say, I've been thinking about where the market is headed, and I feel strongly that focusing on personal branding and personal brand launches will set us apart. I want to hear your thoughts on how we can make this transition go smoothly. That would be an example of you informing them of your decision. And so you reduce potential resistance and you gain their buy-in, making the implementation process much more seamless. This approach will allow you to step into your leadership role, but also maintaining harmony with those who support your vision. Okay, so manifesting generators. So your strategy is a blend. Wait to respond and then inform others before taking action. So in business, you're usually multi-passionate and thrive when you have a variety of projects going. You're capable of moving quickly, but sometimes skipping steps like informing or following through can lead to challenges. Your job is to embrace your diverse interest while staying intentional about where you focus your energy. Some advice: respond to opportunities that excite you, but remember to inform others before you pivot or take action. This will reduce friction and also ensure smooth transition. So, an example of this could be your manifesting generator running a wellness coaching business. And while working with clients on fitness plans, you feel inspired to launch a group program on holistic nutrition. So instead of immediately going and creating and marketing the new program, you take a moment to respond to the idea and inform your current client, saying, I've been thinking about adding a group program focused on nutrition to complement our coaching. Here's what I'm envisioning." And then explain it. And then ask, "How does that sound?" So by informing them, you keep your clients engaged while giving yourself space to act on your new passion project without possible confusion or possible resistance that can come up. Projectors, which I am. Our strategy is wait for the invitation. What this looks like in business is our strength lies in seeing what others can't and offering guidance, but it's crucial that we wait for the right opportunities to share our insights. Trying to push ideas without an invitation will lead to frustration or feeling overlooked. But when you're recognized for your unique wisdom, your impact is powerful. Some advice I could give for that is focus on showcasing your expertise and creating opportunities to be invited, such as what I'm doing. I'm doing a podcast. I'm on social media, so people liking, following. If you're a projector, let's say in a leadership consulting firm, instead of cold pitching services to corporate teams, you can host a free webinar on building effective teams. And during the session, you share some actionable insights and strategies. Afterwards, then attendees will naturally reach out to you saying things like, "We loved your approach. Can you help us implement this in our organization?" So that's an example. So by creating value and waiting for your invitations, you build trust and attract the right opportunities, because quality over quantity is what we're about. Reflectors, your strategy is waiting 28 days, the full lunar cycle, before making major decisions. Your gift lies in your ability to reflect the health of the environment and people around you. You are deeply intuitive and need time to process big decisions. So you need to give yourself space and with the right timing so that you can ensure your choices feel correct for you and your community. So avoid rushing into decisions, especially those that impact your business direction. Observe how you feel over time and seek feedback from trusted allies. An example of this could be you're a reflector running a boutique retail shop, and a supplier comes and offers you a new product line, but you're unsure if it aligns with your store's brand. So instead of deciding immediately, take the time to evaluate and see how the product feels after a few weeks. So does it resonate with your brand identity? And see what feedback you could be receiving from your team or customers. If today's episode resonates with you, I encourage you to take some time for reflection. Get curious about where you might be out of alignment, and don't be afraid to explore tools like human design to guide you back to your authentic self. In the next episode, we'll dive deeper into the Rise and Thrive method and how combining neuroscience and energy work with the human design can optimize your leadership and really transform your life. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe or follow button so that you don't miss any of my new content coming out. Together, let's rise and thrive. I will see you in the next episode.